Badon. Um, there you go. Um, Filmmaker. He made a great low budget film that I caught this November called God Inside My Ear.
Yep.
Um,
I think you talked about it on episode number 5.
Yeah, episode number 5 of our podcast. If you want to go back and listen to that, I talked about a bunch of films that we saw at Buried Alive, but highlighted this one in particular because I really dug it.
Thank you.
I walked in there. I said, "Wow, this is like Lynch does Napoleon Dynamite."
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the music, the feel, especially the scenes in the store, just
Yep.
a very like Napoleon Dynamite.
That
type.
was a total Napoleon Dynamite thing that we were doing right
Oh.
there.
Oh, great. And really, it stuck to me. I mean, in a nutshell, a girl goes through a sudden breakup,
Right.
and is kind of trying to find meaning in her life through dating and relationships and
Like
faith.
drugs and psychiatrists and all sorts of different mediums to try to fix herself, you know.
Yep. Collecting and everything.
Right.
And that really hit me when I was younger. You know, I kind of went through a similar thing where I had this. It was a relationship I was going to be having, and all of a sudden it just went sideways for no reason.
Right.
She got mad at me, and I'm like, "Oh, what did I do?" So being
she wasn't me.
It was not my wife.
That's right.
We've been married 17 years this week. But,
congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. But, excuse me. But I ended up, you know, I was young and stupid and, you know, so drugs and music and instead of driving my car, I'd walk everywhere just to kind of release that energy, you know, and, you know, lo and behold.
In other words, this struck a really big chord with you.
Yeah. I think it strikes the chord in a lot of people, that whole broken heart, you know.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing, especially for like that 20-something-year-old, you know, that early 20s. Yeah. You know, especially that first love is like the biggest thing in your life, you know, at that moment. Yeah. And then you realize that it's not the biggest thing, you know, like life is so much bigger than your little bitty world, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, that's kind of what I was going for, like trying to figure out the meaning of life and all sorts of things, and then you realize that the meaning of life is much bigger than just yourself. You know. That's kind of what I was trying to go for with the first film, you know. So
now you have a background in like church faith. You were youth, weren't you?
I was a youth pastor for about 12 years,
mm-hmm.
and an associate pastor. So yeah, I have a lot of background in church, and you know, just kind of, I was kind of had to. Yeah, I still am a Christian. But I realized there's so much like of what church is that is like kind of cult based, you know, and just control based. And I had to kind of like deprogram myself out of that and actually learn to be like a normal spiritual person instead of this hyper conservative, just do whatever the church says kind of bullshit.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. No, we
get that totally.
Yeah.
We've talked about that a lot. One of the experiences that we've mentioned several times is how there was a time where we were youth leaders, and there was a ban on rated R movies.
Right.
We weren't allowed to watch anything rated R.
Secular music. Too.
Music.
Any secular music.
I kick myself now because I had every single Disney VHS there was.
Yes.
The Barbies to go with them and everything. Yes, those VHS tapes met a hammer. And now
look, we did the whole literal book burning thing. like at our church, and burned our CDs, and God, it was just such a cult that I just like had to like get deprogrammed out of. It's crazy.
Yeah, because you can't pass that evil on to other people. You know, those are, you know.
Right, yeah, so you couldn't just bring the VHSs somewhere. You actually had to destroy them.
Right.
And be profiting off of the evil if you know, had a or something.
Exactly.
I mean, I had laser discs, you know, up the butt. You know,
right.
The ones, and I will admit I wasn't completely faithful to what I was doing, because my autographed ones I still kept.
Right.
When you've got an autographed Phantasm, you know, by
that's worth some money.
And everyone else, you're keeping that mother, you know.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we talked about too is when we were going through that and we weren't allowed to watch the rated R movies or anything that was right at the time Passion of the Christ came out and was rated R. Right. So the church came under this, okay, well, what do? Do we watch it? Do we not watch it? We're not supposed to watch it, but it's the Passion of the Christ.
God. That's so stupid, right? God, that's so stupid.
Yeah, you paint yourself into a corner and then you're like, you know.
But then you could go so far off the deep end that one day you're actually, we went to a church that actually met in a movie theater at the time. Right. And we went to church. After church, we went and we saw a particular movie, which would have been fine if it was just us that had seen the movie. But we realized some of our youth group had also seen the movie. And it was Team America World Police.
Yeah.
So it was kind of interesting watching that movie, looking in the same general direction as we were just worshiping about 2 hours beforehand.
That's interesting.
But yeah, so we've had those experiences too, so we get where you're coming from with that.
But yeah, I mean, and it was a while ago where we just realized there was so much that was added into the Word of God. Yeah. That it was like, well, I mean, the rabbis, the Old Testament rabbis had the same problem. Yeah. You know, they would walk around and have rules against the rules that you don't break the rules, and then they would walk blindfolded and bump into crap and all this. That way they didn't look on somebody. And it's like, well, what are you doing?
Yes.
But so yeah, I mean, like I said, you got inside my ear for under 10 grand, right?
Yep. Yeah, we pre-production and production was $8 grand, and then post-production was a little under $2 grand.
Right.
So.
And you're about to release a DVD on that?
It's coming out April 9th on Amazon and Walmart.com and all those sorts of things, and also cable, and all that stuff. It's coming out through Gravitas Ventures, which is a distribution company.
Right.
But you can also buy it through the Kickstarter for the next film that I'm doing, which is Sister Tempest. And that Kickstarter just started a couple days ago. And that's for the next feature film.
Right. And how long is that Kickstarter going on to? I mean, this phase, that Kickstarter.
That's a 30-day Kickstarter. So it'll be done in about 30 days.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, Dino was just mentioning to me how he had looked at it earlier today, and from what was the jump from earlier?
Yeah, it seemed like in a day you had like a $2 grand jump.
Yeah, I think we're getting close to 7,000 for the day, which is great.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And we're asking 25,000. It's still a tiny budget film, but but it's better than 10 grand.
I was like, yeah, 2.5 times that. Now. This is another one. I mean, completely genre bending.
Yes.
I've seen the video. The video was up on my Facebook page, discussion page.
Yeah.
And I can't do it justice. Would you mind explaining the film?
Yeah, it's kind of like a dark comedy, thriller, horror, art house drama, surrealist film. It's got all those different mashups of different styles and genres, and that's what I've been very interested in. Something that Western culture doesn't do as much as like Japanese movies, especially in Japan. They will genre mash things way more than what we do over here. You know, over here, it's like innovative. We say, hey, it's a zombie movie and it's a musical. And they're like, whoa, that's crazy. And like, and you know, then you watch something like Hausu from the 70s in Japan, and that's like musical comedy, horror, surrealism, batshit craziness. And so I take a lot of influence from like Japanese ideas of pop culture, like Sono Sion. He did Why Don't You Play in Hell, and he also did a movie called Anti-Porno. He's done like 30 something films. It's nuts. But Why Don't You Play in Hell is crazy because there's musical in it, there's samurai in it, it's a movie within a movie within a movie. It's all that sort of shit. And that's what I really am obsessed with, is the idea of genre mashing and genre bending. And that's been something that's been inside of me my whole life. I know in high school I got real obsessed with a musician composer by the name of John Zorn. He had a band called Naked City, but he was also just a composer. He did lots of jazz music and stuff. And Naked City was like kind of his flagship band, where he would literally like it would be like a country riff, then it would go into a jazz riff, then it would go into death metal, then it would go into noise, then it would go into surf rock, and it would just be boom, 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 boom. It would just be always changing genres. And I love that idea. So we kind of did that with God Inside My Ear a bit. But with this film, I really want to amp it up like 1,000%. And so, you know, this film has cannibalism. It has like giant Godzilla-sized astronauts. It has like body horror. It's got lots of dark comedy in it. It's got some musical moments, like singing musical moments. So it's just all sorts of different genres all kind of meshed together. So
I'm going to have to be in the right headspace then.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I think I'm a little more forgiving. I'm
probably stuck more in the Western.
Totally fine. It's absolutely fine. It's really because I kind of have, I don't know if it's ADD is the right word, but just like creatively, I get seriously bored with things fast. So like, I'm just bored with the way stories are structured. I'm bored with the way art is made. I want to see new things. And so that's what I'm trying to do, is do something brand new, you know. But
oh yeah, please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm saying I myself am going to have to drop some of my own.
It's totally fine. And that's the thing too, is like, I am not upset if somebody doesn't like something I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, or if they don't get it, like, it's totally fine. Every art is so subjective.
Right.
Like, it's up to the person's personal like taste, you know? And so, like, I've had so many bad reviews with God Inside My Ear, like really bad reviews. I don't care. It's fine. You know? What?
I've seen them, yeah.
You're right.
I've gone through IMDb, and I'm like, I did it that night that Buried Alive, when we got out. I got out and went to the rental home that we were staying at, and I reviewed it. And then I'm looking at everybody else, and I'm like, did I see an entirely different film? I'm looking, and then I saw one review that my jaw dropped on the floor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right-wing propaganda?
That was pretty great.
What?
Right-wing propaganda was one of the best. What? Yes. But I mean, if you go to IMDb and look up some of the greatest films of all time, like, 2001 Space Odyssey, you got people that are just like, this is garbage. This is so boring and stupid. I can't, and so you can't please everybody, know.
No, I saw a guy that did a review of Jaws and said, oh, it had a couple of good moments. I was ready to go to war, right? Because I'm sorry, that is kind of my holy grail. Right. That is my, sacred calf there.
Right. Totally.
No, that's okay. I've just been having wars this past week over Us.
Oh, yeah. Did you see it?
We saw it on Saturday, and there's been people talking crap about it, and it's one that I really happen to like. So we don't mind getting into online wars with people.
Right. And like you said, you're entitled to like it or not.
Oh yeah.
What I don't like is, this film is shit. Well, okay, you didn't like it? No, it's shit. Well, it's better than anything I've put out. So
right.
Shit. I mean, and I always try, even in a bad movie, to kind of do a sandwich, good, bad, and on a good,
You can always find, even if you don't like something as a whole,
right.
you can always find some piece of it that speaks to you.
Well, and the thing is, after you make a film, you realize how hard it is to make a film.
Mm-hmm.
That just the fact that they edited together anything and created something that's over an hour that is anything at all, that has moving pictures and music and sound, is incredible. So hats off to everybody who can do that,
Exactly. So you're like we said, you got a 30-day Kickstarter
right
on, and you've got many levels, many tiers.
Yeah.
And your rewards are really cool. I
thank you.
And
I think the biggest thing that I'm trying to capitalize on right now is that God Inside My Ear is about to come out. And so we're letting everybody know, if they want to buy God Inside My Ear, then just buy it through the Kickstarter for Sister Tempest. And that way you're able to fund Sister Tempest, and you're able to get the movie. And so it's kind of a 2-for-1. And I think at like $10 you're able to get a digital download of Sister Tempest, but at $20 you can get a digital download of Sister Tempest when we're done with it, and also get a digital download of God Inside My Ear right away. Right after the Kickstarter is done, we're going to send out that,
Right. And as far as the hard copy, you're giving an option of Blu-ray or DVD.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting a great price from Gravitas. Like, we're able to buy those wholesale from them for a really fantastic price. And so it's just barely a difference between DVD and Blu-ray, but not everybody has Blu-ray players. So I just said $35, you can either get a DVD or a Blu-ray of God Inside My Ear, and you'll get the digital download of Sister Tempest and the digital download of God Inside My Ear. So I think it's a great deal,
And another thing that got me really interested is, I forgot the tier number, forgive me on that.
Sure.
But you can actually get a digital download of audio commentary for God Inside My Ear.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's the $50 level. I'm not sure. I don't have it in front of me. But yeah, we recorded, me and the producers recorded, Daniel Waghorn and Joseph Estrade recorded commentary. We sat down and watched the movie and did commentary. I love commentary. I'm obsessed with commentary. Mm-hmm. And we weren't able to do it for the DVD itself, so we just created an extra digital download that you can just download and watch the commentary.
Right. Yeah, because that's one of the things that, I mean, the first commentary I've ever watched was for, excuse me, The Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
When it came out on VHS, and I bought a special pack where it had 2 tapes.
Right.
One had the movie, and the other one had the movie with running commentary. And then it came with, I think, a manila folder with photos and like a Kaiser Soze button. Or something like that. And I had never heard of a commentary at that point. I'm like, okay, commentary. It sounds like they're making comments. Sat there, watch it, and after that, that's when I got into Laserdiscs. So this is going back, early 90s. They were priced to buy, where most of your VHSs at that point weren't. Were still. So I would go to Tower Records and buy Laserdiscs, and if it had a commentary, no matter how bad the film is, we have a family video store down the road from us. So I still have a brick and mortar video store near me.
That's incredible.
no matter how crappy the film is, one, I spent $2 on it, so whatever. Right. But damn it, if it has a commentary, it requires a second viewing.
Absolutely.
Just how
I watched the commentary for Napoleon Dynamite like 40 times. Like, I thought that was just such a funny commentary. Also, like, there were so many movies. I think one of the first commentaries I really watched over and over, Equilibrium. Do you remember that Christian Bale film?
Yeah.
I don't know why I was obsessed with that film for a little while, but I love that film. But yeah, commentary, I'm obsessed with it. I think it's great. So.
Yeah, it's actually what made me. Excuse me. What made me like Napoleon Dynamite, because we had seen it in the theater. I had read about it in like Entertainment Weekly or whatever, and we did a double feature. I think we saw Shaun of the Dead, and then went back and saw Napoleon Dynamite. And then I left there mad because I'm like, what the heck? I mean, for some reason, like the way that they showed the film, the boom was like dropping, and they didn't line it up.
It was a mistake from the actual theater, the way that they had the
oh, that's so funny.
So the whole time we're watching it, we can see the boom in every single scene.
That is really strange.
Yeah, and this was back when IMDb, you had the discussion boards.
Right.
So I would go back and I'm like, what the hell is this movie? You see the boom mic? And everyone's like, what? There's no boom mic. I said, oh, yes, there is. No, it's not. No. So when it came out on DVD, I said, damn it, there's a boom mic, and I know it. So, and I'm like, I'm not going to rent it, though, because the movie's horrible. And then I was in Blockbuster, and they were showing it, and it was a scene where, I forgot her name. She came to the door, selling the boondoggle bracelet,
right,
for money for college. And he goes, your mom goes to college.
Goes to college.
And for some reason, I died. I said, all right. I picked it up.
Clicks.
Did it.
Yeah.
Brought it home. Damn it, no boom mic.
I think we had learned after that, and this is how we learned that they actually have to frame it right.
Right.
That's when I learned it.
Right.
But they said that there were some theaters when it first came out they were given the wrong information. So the theaters were framing it incorrectly based on the information they were given.
That's so funny.
There were several people who had seen it with the boom in it, even though that's not.
I'm surprised they were. I guess it was before all digital, so they weren't cutting it out.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But yeah, and then it had commentary, so I'm like,
oh, the commentary's fantastic on that one.
Boom. And that made me love the movie, and then I bought it, and I watch it fairly regularly.
I know commentary is when I get to fall asleep.
But,
love you, but that's when I get to fall asleep.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Fantastic. And I know this all depends on when the money, when you get your funds and everything.
Yeah, hopefully we get the whole amount.
Right. Now, do you have a goal for when you want to start shooting?
Yeah, June is hopefully, if we get the funding, it ends in at the end of April, and we'll have all of the end of April through May to do pre-production. And hopefully start shooting scenes in June. We'll still be doing pre-production while we're shooting, but we'll be able to start shooting scenes. So. And
you're doing that in Louisiana, or?
Yeah, right outside New Orleans, or in New Orleans and around New Orleans.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, now this is something that I part of that I care. I care about all of it, but that just came out completely wrong.
It's totally fine.
Has casting and everything been done, or?
We're about half of it's cast. We got our main actress cast. Linnea, who was in God Inside My Ear, will be in this film as kind of the crazy roommate of the main character. Because the main character, the movie follows this main character named Anne, who her sister who lives with her goes missing. The sister she had taken care of because her parents had died. And so she was kind of a mother to her sister. and then her sister goes missing, and it kind of like turns her world upside down. And in order to kind of like deal with it, she kind of finds solace in this girl who's played by Linnea, who then becomes her roommate. And we find out that this girl is much nuttier and crazier than she led on to believe. And so this is all happening while Anne, our main character, is recounting her whole life to a space council, like a seat of judges, alien judges that are aboard a spaceship. And so the space council is kind of like this cosmic council that judges everyone's lives. And so it's kind of, there's a lot of spiritual aspects, there's a lot of alien aspects. It's very similar with God Inside My Ear, how we talk about aliens, talk about conspiracies. So there's all that kind of wrapped up inside of a spiritual and philosophical statements, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so that's one of the aspects that I like, because I've done community theater and stuff like that. So I always like finding out the casting ends and how all
we're, like I said, we're about halfway cast. We have there's quite a few actors from the last movie that are in little small roles here and there for this film. Like the psychiatrist played by Colin Galion will once again be in this film as the let's see, what is he? He's the preacher. He's kind of the spirit guide of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Andre LaSalle, who played the psychic in the film.
Yeah.
He's coming back to play the principal of the art school, because Anne, our main character, is an art teacher. And so that's how she gets hooked up with Linnea's character, because Linnea was a student at the art school. And so yeah, we have a lot of people coming back. Alex Stage, who plays the character of John, the love interest in God Inside My Ear, is coming back to play the love interest of the main character again, and he's a janitor of the art school. And so a lot of the guys are coming back, but we got a lot of new guys and girls. We have our main character, played by Callie Russell, she is fantastic. We just found her through auditions, and she's no stranger to genre. Genre theater. She hasn't done any films, so this is like her first big role, film role. But she was in Evil Dead the musical, and she was in Musical of the Living Dead. She was in Flowers in the Attic, and she's been in, like, she's worked in theater since she was like 5 or 6 or something. So she's been in acting for a long time, and she just blew our socks off with her audition. And so yeah, so that's what's going on right now. We're still auditioning people, but we got a lot of the main cast already done. So
yeah. All right, fantastic. And so to fund you on Kickstarter, they just go on Kickstarter and look up Sister Tempest?
They go to Kickstarter and they look up Sister Tempest, it'll pop right up, first one. So
all right, well, fantastic. I thank you for sitting down with us.
Yeah, man, this is always a pleasure. I know we talked before, but with God Inside My Ear, and it was just a lot of fun. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. And this is Joe Badon. We got Sister Tempest, Kickstarter. Go check out the Kickstarter, donate, get some great rewards. Go get God Inside My Ear, get the commentary, become a producer.
Yeah.
Go up to that level. Get the
2,500 I think is co-producer or associate producer credit, and then 5,000 is executive producer credit. And so yeah, absolutely. If you want to donate that would be amazing.
All right, fantastic, Joe. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. It was always fun talking to you guys.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Talk to you soon.